Hi, I'm Sue Benner, and I'm here in my Dallas, Texas studio. I've worked in this same studio since 1989. It's located behind my house, which is just over here. And I've been making art, being a textile artist, since 1980. I grew up in Wisconsin, studying molecular biology in college and art, and then eventually going to graduate school here in Dallas in biomedical communications and illustration. And my love of textiles and my dyeing and painting skills, my illustration skills led me to combine them, and I sort of couldn't help myself, and I pursued my work in textile art. My piece, Mesh 13, in Quilt National 2021, is from obviously a series that has at least 13 pieces, and Mesh 8 is hung on the wall behind me. It started out with my walking through the neighborhoods in my town, walking through the alleys, seeing the back side of things, and layered mesh, chain link, grids of various sorts, fences, vines running through the fences, and sometimes the sky and light coming through. And I was really taken with this other side of things, and the idea that you could look through one thing to see another. That's been a theme in my work for a long time. And of course the layering of quilts, looking through the stitching to see what's on the quilt, looking through layers of collage that I usually have, that's right there. And that's how I began the Mesh series, with the idea of a grid as the basis and things going on behind. And then somewhere in the series I decided, well, I want to look through it, so I'm going to start switching to materials like organza, sheer fabrics. And I started dyeing fabrics and painting on found fabrics. I even made things that look like chain link with recycled curtains. And here's this type of fabric is actually in Mesh 13. It's a grid that's monoprinted on a cloud-like curtain fabric. And I was dyeing and painting silk organza with silhouettes, stencils, prints of plants on them, because those are in the fences as well. And actually did a whole series of fabrics for a commission in Mesh 9 that was for a private residence, private collectors. And I began adding the strips, these silk strips, as the grid. So I was layering fabrics. This is a collage. It doesn't always have 2 layers, but it has many different sections that are dye, painted, stitched, and put together. And Mesh 13 has even more of these recycled curtains, hand dyed and painted fabrics, monoprinted fabrics, elaborately stitched fabrics, and those I layered like a scene of, on the top there's clouds, and then this grid that you're looking through, and vines that crisscross, and there's things on the surface, on one surface, things in the middle trapped between the 2 layers, and then even things on the other surface, because it is truly a 2-sided piece. So it actually almost physically imitates this wonderful thing I see when I'm walking and looking at the fences, the grids, the chicken coops, and how they're layered and mended over time, and they're not perfect. And that's all the things I really like about this experience of walking and putting it together to create this illusion that's fairly elusive, an elusive illusion. I also had to deal with the materials in a different way that was really challenging, and problem solving was part of well, it's my favorite thing about making art. And the layering and the stitching and getting the piece to behave as one and having the kind of effects that I wanted was a real challenge, and that's one of the reasons why working in a series is so beneficial. I hope that you enjoy Quilt National and all the wonderful things there are to see here. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all my fellow quilters and textile artists. And thanks to Quilt National.